Guys, welcome back to another video, and this is another Urinating Tree reaction, and people love my reactions to his videos, and I do really enjoy his videos as well. Like, he's just got a certain style that I just seem to sort of, I just really enjoy, and people, I mean, he's growing pretty quick from what I'm seeing, like, so I'm guessing, like, people are sort of catching on to him as well, like, which is the reason why he's growing, like, so fast. But yeah, I just really enjoy his videos, and this one is, wait, can you see it? You can. This one is the Haters Guide to the 2020 MLB postseason, and yeah, I'm interested in seeing this because this is like the point where I'm actually like wanting to sort of look more into what's going on in the MLB, because like this is the, I mean, I guess this is just sort of the grand finale or whatever. Like, this is what it's leading to, and yeah, I'm just intrigued to see like who the favourites are, like who he doesn't think are gonna do well, and all these different things, because again, this is just one of those, it's now at the point where like I feel like it's going to be really interesting to see what goes on. And yeah, let's just check this out. I mean, hopefully you guys are going to enjoy. I don't know if, I don't see people suggest this, but people just seem to really enjoy my sort of reactions to anything that he posts, and I really enjoy his videos, so I just thought I should just do the reaction, see what people think. But let's check this out and see. Wait, I am recording, right? Yeah, I am. Let's just see what his predictions are.
I didn't think they'd be able to do it, but they pulled through in the end. I was wrong. It was looking ugly in the beginning, but the postseason has finally arrived. Now with fresh bubbles to prevent any more outbreaks from spreading to teams. This postseason will be more expansive, with 16 teams reaching for the championship. It just brings in more chaos, but we still have our good stories. I don't know how they do it. I keep getting baffled by the moves that they make, but the results obviously speak for themselves. Folks, this is why I am nowhere.
He's actually been nice to teams for once, I guess because this is like the postseason, but he's never usually this nice.
Near a baseball franchise, and for very good reason. I'd probably ruin the Rays the first second I step into the office. The thing with Tampa is that nobody is really performing at an outstanding level, but they're well-rounded. They don't have many weaknesses in their lineup or pitching staff, and that has made them successful enough to win the AL East. It also doesn't hurt that Nick Anderson has been lights out as a closer. Hitting-wise, they've been led by the slick-fielding Willy Adames and Brandon Lau, but there's nobody who's really taken charge. A team of good, but not great. Now, only if Austin Meadows could return to form. He has the potential to truly take this team over the edge. The curse of Moneyball has returned for another round of pushing for a World Series, yet somehow being smited by the gods in the process. This time around, it will have to be done without Matt Chapman, who's not coming back this year due to injury. However, Arizona was kind enough to push Jake Lamb out the door, so cheap insurance policy for him. The key to the A's is in the bullpen. It's been lights out this season, led by Liam Hendricks, and with more depth to whack a stick at. The problem is, I just don't know if they have enough horsepower in the starting pitching or hitting to reach the promised land this year. Unless Mike Minor and Manaea go back to 2019 form, the bullpen will have to have an unfairly large load for success, and they know it. I'd say win it, to be honest. I'm tired of this team always coming up short. Nelson Cruz is the badass grandpa of baseball, the sensei of the long ball. He was so potent the guy was leading the league in home runs for a good chunk of the year. The rest of the hitting core isn't truly Bomba Squad, but it's still a formidable dong-smashing machine. Every time Byron Buxton is healthy is a special time. The true strength of the team this time around is in the pitching core. It's one of the strongest in baseball from the team perspective. Maeda, Barrios, Old Man Rich Hill, and a sturdy bullpen make them into a legitimate foe. Now the question is, who is this team going to be facing in the opening round? The Astros, eh? They match up well against them, at least. And it's not the Yankees, so they may have a chance of winning a few games. Let's talk about Shane Bieber for a moment. The good kind of Bieber. At least if you're on the Indians. Everyone else gets their legs swept. Show no mercy, have a nice day. As he more than likely wins the AL Cy Young, they have another piece to lead the hitting core. The Baptist revival of Jose Ramirez. See him smash the baseball? That will happen to you if you're not careful. Yes, they still have Lindor, thanks for asking. A stable outfield not included. As a dessert for your pleasure, here is James Karinchak and his blistering stuff. With their riches in pitching, they could chuck a ball at a random passerby and he will somehow turn into a decent reliever. Years of frustrating disappointments have led to this watershed season for the team. They're riding a white-hot winning streak heading into the playoffs, so momentum isn't going to be an issue for them this time around. This might be your best chance to get back to the World Series. Avenge some demons for us. It's been a tumultuous year for the Pinstripes. First, they went on a scorching hot streak. Then everyone got injured. Then the replacements for everyone ended up
The replacements getting
injured on top of that. And then Gary Sanchez forgot how to hit a baseball. Then they were rolling out a glorified AAA team most days. Then the fan base was ready to put Garrett Cole's head on a spike. Then everyone conveniently came back to beat the shit out of the Blue Jays. I am most surprised that Giancarlo and Judge being in the lineup would lead to success. But enough of that. Let's take a moment to honor our new legend of the game. Luke Voigt is a demigod in disguise as a man. A flick of his wrist will make opposing pitchers weep like children. He knows what the goal is. World Series or bust. If there is more disappointment, like in the past decade, there will only be lamentation and self-pity. There may be a train to take into the Hudson if that happens. Karma has been quite laser-guided this year, hasn't it? You figured this was going to be another strong year for the Astros. Well, my naive friend, the gods had other plans. It's been a tumultuous road at best. Verlander and Osuna dealt season-ending injuries early on. The pitching staff forced to conscript 12-year-olds due to attrition. Jose Altuve losing his magical gnome powers. Now he's just dunked on nearly every day. A team full of talent going on prolonged losing streaks on several occasions. Despite hype and expectations, the odds are stacked against them. There is nothing more that any other team in the league will want than to humiliate them in a series. This is the fate the Astros have handed themselves. You won't have the benefit of the doubt this time. Good luck. You'll need it. I'd be glad the White Sox finally lived up to their potential, but we need to talk for a moment. Chicago, please explain the last week of the season. You were lining up for a division clinch, yet you proceeded to utterly collapse on yourselves like your neighbor did last season. Boys, why? You have Luis Robert. You have Jose Abreu having a career season. You have an emerging pitching staff. You have legitimate talent throughout the lineup. Why the sudden immolation back to the frustrations of the last few seasons? Why am I getting the sneaking suspicion that your success this season was built on smoke and mirrors? A good bit of your pitchers are getting bailed out by feeling, and Robert has slumped dramatically.
So what I'm guessing is they've sort of hit bad form at possibly the wrong time, because obviously this continues into the postseason and in the playoffs. I mean, again, probably wrong timing, but I mean, maybe they'll turn it around. We'll see that. I feel like there's always like a few teams that they haven't performed very well throughout the whole season, then they suddenly just hit a spell of form at the right time. Kind of like the Heat in the playoffs now. They didn't really finish like really high up. They finished 5th, I think. And then they just went on a run. And I feel like maybe a team, and maybe it's like this probably has happened in like the playoffs in baseball in the past, but a team that wasn't really performing well maybe just sort of hits a spell of form at the right time, and it sort of continues into the playoffs. And vice versa, a team that's performed well all season starts like going on a sort of a poor run, I guess you could say, and then they sort of struggle in the playoffs. Like, it's one of those things that it's just interesting how it sort of works like that.
Please, White Sox, don't do what you're doing. It's not funny. Stop it. Youth is a beautiful thing. You feel invincible. So much opportunity at your fingertips. To see the likes of Bo Bichette or Vlad Jr. crushing the ball with impunity. To witness the growth of the depth like flowers in the wilderness. To develop a pitching core that has a chance to make noise in future seasons. These are the new Blue Jays. Fresh from a blow-up of the team back in 2018 to probably get their asses kicked in the learning experience year. All I hope is that they bring us a fun product to watch in these next few weeks. They are looking good for the future, even in the brutal AL East, so anything else from this point forward is gravy. You never know about these kind of teams. Maybe they'll be good when they get back to Canada, too. I'm not going to waste that much breath on the Dodgers. You spent more money on paying Mookie Betts for a long time because of the true prize, the World Series. Years of choking have dulled your luster, but the talent is still there. The best record in baseball is proof of that. The pitching core is full of quality starters, for God's sake. The only thing that could stop Los Angeles are themselves. The Dodgers did a damn good job of that last season. Only time will tell if that will continue. No more excuses. You know what you need to do. I figured the NL East would be one of the toughest divisions in baseball. Little did we all know the only toughness would be in outlasting each team's self-destruction. The Braves merely won the division by imploding on the field the least during this time. The hitting core is unquestioned, but the Braves' biggest issue this time around? Starting pitching. It's been decimated by a combination of long-term injuries and whatever happened to Mike Fultonevich. Common logic would say to capitalize on the current window and bolster the rotations, so they did that, right? You didn't do anything about the starting pitching issues? You patched it up with some duct tape and Tommy Malone? And now Max Fried may be dealing with an ailment as well? I can't say you didn't do this to yourselves. I don't know how they did it, but the Cubs have managed to find this infamous potential they've always got. They've at least played up to some semblance of it over these past 2 months. And most interestingly, their core hitters have been atrocious. Baez, Bryant, Rizzo, and Schwarber have been nowhere close to form, yet they've found a way to win. It's mainly been on the backs of the revived.
That's quite a good thing, though. To be fair, like if your top players are playing poorly and you still like manage to like reach this point, and then maybe like you can they can get them to find their feet again. That's some big potential there, because again, if you're making like the postseason whilst, again, not I've said this already, but having your worst players, like your best players not really performing how they should be, you can find a positive from that negative. Like if you can sort of pick out and find out, or maybe just like realize why they weren't performing and sort it out, you never know how they're gonna sort of play in the postseason. Right?
You Darvish, Kyle Hendricks, and a random no-hitter by Alec Mills. Once again, the team bullpen is a massive issue, but it does have Jeremy Jeffress returning to 2018 vintage. As for Craig Kimbrell, the less said on that, the better. I wouldn't talk about their latest skid to end the season either. At least you're here again. In a land far, far away from baseball civilization. Some say San Diego. There is a team that has brought new life to the game. A group of young athletes that burst out their charismatic bats and electric arms to put the world on notice. This, folks, is the tale of the Padres, a group that does not care for your stodgy unwritten rules. They only care for hitting dingers. And then hurling Dinelson Lamet at you. Then hitting more dingers. Fernando Tatis Jr. leading the way. Manny Machado and Eric Hosmer rediscovering their strokes. Jake Cronenworth solidifying the middle infield as Trent Grisham overcame that moment. A group that decided to go all in at the deadline because they don't give a shit about being someone's rightful turn. They also have more prospects on the way. Because fuck your feelings. Slam Diego. Too bad you have to face the Dodgers if you make it to the NLDS.
Oh, no.
Please beat them for the laughs. There's a big reason why I'm against having 16 teams in the postseason this year. Not that I'm against teams getting a fair shot, but all it does is put mediocrity on a pedestal. If you want an example of such a team full of bleh, look at the St. Louis Cardinals. There's nothing here that screams playoff worthy. The hitting has been okay, the pitching has been okay, the bullpen has been okay. You call a team that can't hit for power worth a damn worthy of a postseason spot? Then I've got some Carpenter Salsa past its expiration date to sell you. If this team is going anywhere again, it'll have to be on the back of Paul Goldschmidt. Not even Jack Flaherty has been his dominant self, so this team screams placeholder. I know Cardinals fans are going to be pissed at me for this segment, but do you really see yourselves as true contenders? What a world we live in, where the Miami Marlins are back in the playoffs. Okay, 2020, you can stop with the craziness now. Remember that this team dealt with a COVID infestation after the first weekend of play and was throwing out a team of scabs for several weeks afterwards. All it took was a greatly expanded postseason and the rest of their division completely imploding on themselves. You may dismiss them because of their god-awful run differential, the fact that they've been annihilated quite a few times this season, and
negative 41 and they've still made it. What?
A player core that shows signs of overachieving. But what you're really looking at are this year's World Series champions. You don't know the Marlin curse, do you? Well, child, come close, for I will regale you with tales of drunkenly stumbling to success. They've made the playoffs twice in their existence as a wild card. Guess what happened in those 2 years? Oh yeah, it's happening again. Bow down to your future master and Derek Jeter. I know they probably aren't going to maintain the meme, but I want to believe in that magic. Do it, Marlins. Back from the dead, I see. I was worried you were going to prove my cynical ass right and piss away another year where you should have been competing. But it's as if a little fairy whispered in their ear. If you don't win, everyone might get fired. Thus lit the fires of 1,000 angry Trevor Bauers. Giving zero fucks about reputation, the Reds rattled off an impressive winning streak to revive their long-shot ambitions and bring about new life to the team. Now only if the hitting core could play up to their abilities, I'd have more confidence in them in October. I pride myself and think of myself as a man of no faith, as there's a drive into deep left field by Castellanos and that'll be a home run. And so that'll make it a 4-0 ball game. I don't know how I'll be talking about them again. Whether that be for success or failure, whether that be here or from my bosses at Fox. Making it by the skin of your teeth. Sounds like a Milwaukee thing to do, so I'll take it for what it is. The offseason involved deep overhauling of the hitting core, and from the looks of it, it made it take a turn for the worse. Most of the replacements for those that left haven't been pulling their weight. And by replacements, I mean the whole damn lineup. Even Yelich hasn't been anywhere near what he can be. When a majority of your regulars are hovering around the Mendoza line, you don't deserve to be anywhere near a postseason spot. But this is 2020. And they do have some new emerging pieces in the pitching like Corbin Burns and Devin Williams. For the Brew Crew to avenge last year's choke, they will need everyone to be what they can be. No more underachieving, for this is a second chance. Against the Dodgers. Well, it's been nice knowing you, boys. This is
I love how he segments
going to
that
be
so
interesting,
much.
even if there's a huge batch of mediocrity in the postseason. Nobody's truly safe. And that's the most interesting aspect of all. As for who I think will make the World Series this year, I'm going to go with the lazy option and say Yankees versus Dodgers. I just feel those two teams are better built for the postseason than the others. Even then, it's just really hard to tell who's going to come out of the AL. It's very tight over there. But enough talk. Let's have some good baseball, boys.
So the Yankees or the Dodgers, this guy. Thanks for watching, fans. Trying to sneak into the baseball game. Oh, that's what. Oh, I just pressed that.
I have come to the...
I do need to look at
They made it. With some duct
I
tape.
do need to look at oh, I forgot what I was gonna say now. And more of his that series that he does, like the Mariners one I did. I forgot what the actual series is called. The Death of the Process. I think that might be what it is. Like basically sort of laughing at the history, etc. Whatever that's it. I completely forgot what the series is actually called. But you know, I feel like you know what I'm on. Wait, is it this one? No, I feel like you know what I'm trying to say at least. I can't think though. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this. And yeah, so the Dodgers and the Yankees are his two picks. Reds fans, I really appreciate the commitment to the bit. Lol, that was great. Who are people? Like, who are your like? I'm not saying you. I mean like everyone. Just comment underneath. If you're at this point, who are maybe your underdog team that you sort of think could sneak in? Like sneak in and make it all the way. Like I'd be intrigued to see that into the World Series. Everyone in the NL Central who made the playoffs go home early today. Entire NL Central, yeah. Pirates. The Blue Jays made the playoffs in Buffalo 10 years more recently than the Sabres did. I'm a simple man. When I see tree, I click. P.S. Reds fan here, dying sight. Oh, the Red fans going for a tough time, yeah. And the Cardinals fans are going to be pissed at me for this segment, but do you really see ourselves as true contenders? Yes, we do. See 2006. Cardinals fans will probably be pissed at me. Are you kidding? At this point, Tree Curse is pretty much my only hope for us to make the deep playoffs, so I'm glad you said it. The Tree Curse, I love that. As a Cubs fan, I gotta say, I really don't like the fact we're playing the Marlins in the first round. Something about the history and the fan interference. Go Marlins, haven't lost a series before. Not going to now. Also first. Oh, wow. That's kind of wild. Let's go Jays. I very much enjoyed the Super Mario RPG Sonic 3 music. Thank you for jinxing the Dodgers versus Yankees tree. You just got a jinx, yeah? So I'm guessing what people... I know that's obviously people are joking with that, but I'm guessing in the past he said things that have turned out to be completely like... Just have completely like changed, like his sort of opinion, or his sort of predictions have just been completely wrong. Which, to be fair, that happens a lot. Like, predicting sport events is one of the hardest things because you never know what can actually happen. But, good video. I really enjoyed this. And, again, what are your guys' predictions for this? Again, I'm not too sure. But I'm excited to see, like, what's going to happen because this is going to be my first ever sort of playoff and postseason sort of reaction. Like, my first time ever really sort of, like, witnessing it. But, yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this reaction. And until next time, like, subscribe.